Sara. So that's how it is. I finally understand. You don't seem to quite grasp. This entire series of events has been truly bizarre. What Sara is, exactly. Yes?
Indeed. However, I absolutely do not want to see her dismantled. Something inside me tells me so. Tomorrow, her dismantlement will be decided upon. I must come up with a way to protect her from that after our meeting.
Is that even possible? Isn't the board of directors or something going to determine that by majority vote?
If Rune for some reason changes his mind, then I'm sure the direction of the entire meeting will change as well. There are many members who don't really have an opinion and will simply go along with whatever he decides.
Albus?
Yes?
Please, let me meet with Rudo.
I was actually thinking the same thing. But I'm sure you'd already known that, right?
Correct.
Albus's suggestion. We perform a mind dive on Sara. If we did that, then we can find out Sara's real identity. However, when it came to Selphine's desire to perform the mind dive...
It's alright, Ritona. I'm sure he'll understand.
Selphine had her own plan, which she had kept only to herself. Even I was unaware of what she had in mind. With only a lingering trace of doubt, we head over to Lab 9, where Rudo was. So this is a laboratory. I thought it was rather unsettling when we spotted it as we roamed around town. But it seems science doesn't mesh well with me. They cause me too much discomfort.
Let's head inside.
Who?
Rudo!
Albus, I believe you have a strict policy on not allowing any outsiders into the lab. Do we not?
This isn't the time for that. I have something important I need to discuss with you.
Cannot wait until tomorrow. I'm in the middle of putting together a presentation, reporting regarding Sara's dismantlement.
That's exactly what I'm trying to talk about with you. I want you to reconsider this offer. This matter.
How desperately are you going to cling to that thing? Is it about time to let go, Albus? Regardless of what you do, the opinion of the board of directors is not going to change. Don't you have more important things to do?
I didn't come here to change the opinion of any member of the board. I'm here to change yours.
What?
We want you to see Sara's dismantlement.
And here I was expecting you to say something else entirely.
Rudo, these two people are mana crafters. This girl, Selphine, she used a craft that allows people consciousness to communicate directly. That craft gives her the ability to let people share memories directly with each other.
Oh.
Do you understand what that means, Rudo? With this, we could all see into Sara's memories and find out who she truly is. Don't you see? The question of Sara's identity can finally be solved.
I don't see, Albus. Let's say, hypothetically, that Sid Savet managed to use Rune as a model, implant her into Sara. What purpose would it serve?
For all we know, she may have inherited Rune's memories. How Sid accomplished it, I don't know. But it's no exaggeration to say that she may be Rune herself.
Enough for the star excuses. What would lead you to that conclusion in the first place? Regardless of the circumstances, there's no change in the fact that Sara is a machine. It's nothing more than a prototype of a sister. An automaton whose development consumed vast amounts of Zevet's enterprise's own finances. The fact is that Sara is an object.
But still...
I may.
Selphine had been quiet the entire time, but she suddenly speaks out.
Whether or not she is a machine has nothing to do with this.
Huh?
The issue at hand here is whether or not she is Sara or Rune. Albus, Rudo, both of you have forgotten something crucial here.
Something crucial?
Yes,
Which is what exactly?
for starters, I'd like to propose my conclusion that she is Rune.
How did you come to that conclusion?
Simply based on what Sid had felt, there is no other possible conclusion.
There's no way that outsiders like you could have known what my father was thinking.
I do. Through our dive with Albus, we were able to see Sid's way of life, his entire existence. Sid did not just shut himself in the lab, losing his sanity to desperation. I'm sure he did so to research a way to give your little sister, Rudo, a second chance at life. He created a heart for her missing emotions. For his own daughter, that so-called hellspawn, he used the path down.
Path down?
I see. If there was a scientific equivalent to the path down, then the possibility would be very likely. Transferring Rune's memories. That's exactly what the path down is. How did I not notice this before?
And if she has emotions, then this entire issue is not even something we should be discussing, regardless of whether she is Rune or Sara.
With dignity beaming from her eyes, Selphine speaks straight to us. In a clear voice.
Is it wrong to deprive her of will, as a being in possession of a mind, heart, and spirit? Being a human or machine has no bearing on the matter.
I'm sure I will remember this moment. I'm sure I will remember this moment. A long time from now. Jesus. 1 second. The moment when this sense of justice was able to penetrate, regardless of any country's borders.
Nonsense.
Rudo, perhaps you've realized it? That Sid created Sara to give Rune the emotions that she never had?
Absolute nonsense.
If so, then this may be a great precedent that could affect just what our definition of a human is. And if that is the case, then this is no longer a problem confined to just us. Zevit's Enterprise has the right, no, the duty, to confront this ethical issue straight on.
Enough nonsense from you. Sara does not have a heart. Fine, let's just pretend that were true. Even then, Sara is able to completely cut its emotions off, whatever it's ordered to do something. You can't say anything has a heart when it can just turns its emotions on and off as easily as flipping a switch.
That's...
None of you understand. The kind of being my sister was lurking behind her smile, her senseless, meaningless acts of evil. If Sarah's inherited Muir's memories and personality, then there couldn't be anything more dangerous.
Still, if Sid succeeded in artificially creating emotions using mana, then...
Enough of this foolish speculation! Why don't you use those theories of yours to write a novel or something? Now, if y'all excuse me, I have more pressing matters to attend to.
Rudo! Confound it all, Rudo! We're not done here!
Rudo. Rune was reborn with emotions, with a heart, and would you be able to accept her as your own little sister? It has already come to a point where there's no clear-cut right or wrong answer. However, as someone who stands above everyone else, you have the right to make that decision.
As if you know anything.
Is this all? All that we could have done?
Sun, it's rising.
Make that face, Sid. Your smile is so much more wonderful.
You expect me to smile like this? Heck, how could you smile at a time like this?
Who knows? I'm not sure either. I'm sure it's because I've just run out of tears to shed.
Eline. I'm so sorry. Really. I've always been so caught up with work that not once did I ever do anything for the family.
What brought this on? All of a sudden.
If only I'd been there for Rudo and Rune, if only I'd spent more time with them, then all this would never have happened. Ditching my family for my work. I'm just like my damn dad.
Don't say that, Sid. It's not like you to regret the things you've done. I want to see you all weak like this.
I just don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do anymore. Damn it.
Tell me, Sid. Rune's issues. Are they some kind of sickness? I've always thought to myself, if that girl had a heart, she'd have lived a more normal life?
I can't say for sure. Maybe that really was her real, honest-to-goodness personality. And even if we managed to cure the flaw inside Rune, even if we managed to cure that flaw of Rune's, who knows what'd change inside of her?
I see.
Like, does not having emotions really turn someone into that much of a mess? Does that mean we're born selfish and arrogant and messed up and emotions are just a way to stop us? To keep us all in check? Like if I know.
Right. Sid, could you tell me something? You hate Rune?
Dunno. Hate ain't the right word for it. It's just that I feel so helpless and miserable. Well, if you ask me if I hated her or not, then I guess I might have. If it weren't for Rune, then our family'd still be whole, or so I think. But that's a thought I can't really hold on to for long. So I'm just left with nothing but feeling miserable. That's all. And what about you?
First, I didn't really feel anything. I was just in a daze. Like my entire world was engulfed in a mist, and I lost sensation in my entire body. I had no words, no feelings, no thoughts. I could barely consider myself conscious. Nothingness. That was it. As some time passed, I felt like I was attacked by a deep nausea, like I was going to throw up while I had a piercing headache. It made me question why I was still even here at all. It made me hate the fact that I was even alive. I wanted to die. Just living was painful. So painful. I'm sure I just didn't even know what to think. But you know what? It's strange. Even after all that pain and hardship and suffering that Rune made me go through, the more I thought about it, the more I realized I just couldn't come to hate Rune. I just wanted to talk with her one last time. Ask her what thoughts she had as she lived. Know what was going through her mind. She put an end to that short life of hers. Just simply ask her forgiveness for not trying to understand her. I'm so sorry, Rune. Sorry that you had someone like me for your mother.
What the heck? Why are you apologizing like this? You didn't do a single thing wrong.
Don't lie for me anymore, Sid. Everything you've done was always for the kids. Sorry. It's
all
you.
good. Everything you've done was always for the kids. You're a damn fine mother.
No, the only one I've been thinking of was myself. After the Rollies incident, Rune finally settled down. Thought to myself that everything would go well. I could finally have a normal family life, is what I thought. I think I already realized it. Something was just slightly off. It was never ever so subtle. the discomfort would go away in the blink of an eye. If I ever once put that feeling into words. If I even once admitted that feeling, our days of peace and quiet would all just shatter and fall apart. That's what I thought. I was so scared. Which is why I subconsciously pretended not to notice. Simply chasing after an illusion, nothing more. Stupid illusion of a perfect ideal family. In the end, the only person who I was thinking about was myself.
It's all in the past, Eline. You can only say that because all this happened. You've lived your entire life for your family's happiness.
Said,
I won't believe you for a second if you said you were only ever thinking about yourself.
The MRI results are right there. More importantly, even Rudo told me about her. Rune's behaving strangely, he told me. And how did I respond? Be nicer to her. I spoke as if it weren't even my problem, and didn't listen to a word of what Rudo said. I was taking advantage of Rudo's kindness. He's got his act together. I can just leave it all to him, I thought. Because of how strong Rudo was. I left him to deal with Rune. All of his worries. Just bottled up inside of himself. Even though I'm sure it was painful for him. I did all that. All that for my sake.
Eline,
I don't even know what to think. Please, don't leave Rudo alone, Sid.
yeah, I promise you.
Take care of yourself. And ease up that research of yours. Because once you're gone, Rudo really will be all alone.
Rudo will never be alone. I promise you that.
said, keep going.
I figured this would be you.
Wait, is it okay? What I can remember is an interest in the outside world. And a frustration with the fact that I couldn't escape this island, this birdcage called the Outer Pole. Frustration. I think it was what it was. Thought everything was just so unfair. But I didn't know how to express that feeling. Everyone around me has something, an objective that would drive them to continue their day-by-day lives. But me was completely empty. Wait, this is Runes.
The very first time I had experienced something akin to emotion was when I saw a bird twitching on the side of the road as a child. Perhaps it was attacked by another animal. Deep red blood seeped out of his neck as it convulsed. And eventually, the bird stopped moving altogether. Some kind of feeling from deep within my chest desperately attempted to emerge. The onlookers voiced their pity for the bird. I said it was funny. Everyone stared at me with the strangest looks. After seeing death right before my eyes, I wanted to see it again. I wanted to feel that feeling again. In hindsight, perhaps that really was pity. I wasn't even able to distinguish such a simple emotion. After observing the other people around me, I was able to mimic their own behavior. When I was a child, I was confined to the house. There were a few people who were always around. They were my mother and my brother. My mother had a weak constitution, but whenever she spoke, she was very energetic. Although her body was weak, her spirit was strong. She was a very warm person. I didn't know how to respond to that warmth of hers. There was nothing stranger and more alien to me than her unconditional love. I couldn't even begin to comprehend it. My brother, even though he spoke gently, he always had a scowl on his face. And it was well deserved, because I was constantly causing him nothing but grief. Despite all that, he still worked hard every single day at Zevit's Enterprise. Even though no one expected anything of him, he continued to diligently toil away in the shadow of his little sister. He was constantly anxious, being compared to his father by everyone around him. Always afraid of having succeeded his father, Sid Zevitz, who was a multi-talented one-in-a-million prodigy. The barrier he had to scale reached all the way to the heavens. It was impossible. Rune himself knew this, and still chose to try and surmount it. He constantly aimed for the summit, not knowing if he would even make it to the top. I remember that upon seeing that brother of mine, within me rose a powerful desire to destroy it all. In hindsight, perhaps I looked up to him for his persistence and grit to take on even the toughest challenges all by himself. All I could ever do was mimic others. I was frantically trying to reconstruct a present. While on the other hand, my brother was fervent and single-minded in forging a path forward. I was just so jealous of that. Looking back on all this, there really is just a hair's breadth of a difference between all kinds of emotions. I actually was driven by these strange alien things called emotions after all. But I am the one who killed my mother. And I am the one who ruined my father. And I am the one who caused my brother to suffer. Dad, why did you bring me back to this world? Did you bring me back here just so I could wallow in despair? Is all this my atonement? If it had been slightly different, then I wouldn't have caused all these people to experience such pain and suffering. I've done so many things I could never take back. I've committed so many wrongs that even my death could not hope to absolve. I truly was a being that should never have been. But then, what am I? Is the man I consider my father truly Sid Zevitz? Was the person who I had always stared emptily at truly my brother, Rune? Are my memories Rune's memories? Rune is someone who should never have been born. But then that means I should never have been born. Am I Sara? If I am, then that means I am only borrowing these memories from Rune. And if that's the case, then just what exactly is Sara? Nothing makes sense anymore. But there is one thing I know. I don't want to cause Rudo any more trouble. If he truly does find my very existence contemptuous, then I would gladly die? Be destroyed? What? So what am I, really? If only. If only I could have seen Miss Selphine and Miss Ritona once more. I wanted to tell them goodbye.
Sara,
Yes?
your dismantlement would be determined by a collective vote tomorrow. Return to Lab 9 and stand by there for the remainder of today. Head straight to Lab 9, avoiding informed Vorthol and others. Follow their orders.
Understood. Master Rudo? Thank you for everything.
I believe I ordered you to switch off your emotions.
I couldn't. I've tried so many times, but it seems I don't have the permission to do so.
If you can do so, then why did you still follow with my order? How could you abide by my illogical, preposterous orders without a single word of complaint?
Because that is what you desired of me.
Why? Why are you smiling?
Because I'm happy.
What?
I've always been taking things away from you, but now I can finally give you something that you've always wanted.
Something I've always wanted?
The possibility of me becoming Rune will cease to exist. I thought about just running away so many times. I thought about my death, my destruction. But if I disobeyed your orders, then you would end up shouldering the responsibility for my actions. Finally, the time has come that I am no longer needed.
If you have emotions, do you not feel fear? Aren't you afraid?
I am afraid. Very much so. So afraid that I just want to run away this very minute. But what I fear even more is that my existence would only serve to cause you even more pain.
What?
I know. That you're really a nice, kind person. You were always watching out for your little sister. I'm sure that back then, she didn't realize just how dearly you thought of her. But now, I'm sure she can understand.
Just how much of Rune's memories have been restored inside you?
I do not know. As time passes, fragments of the memories are slowly coming back to me. But as for whether those are truly my memories, there's no way for me to tell.
What? Just what in the world are you?
I don't know anymore. Not a single thing. But this one thing I do know. Rudo, I'm just a girl that admires you as my brother. But I don't even know what that means.
Damn it. Rudo would never be alone. I promise you that. Damn it. Dad, you son of a bitch. Rune.
Will you call me Rune? Is it okay? Is it okay if I could call you brother again?
Do whatever you want.
You mean it? Brother, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for everything. Rudo. There's a formula I've never once calculated right before my eyes. I don't think my processing could ever keep up with it. I think this is the source of the noise that's always been deep inside my heart. The emotions behind my destructive tendencies from before, my feelings for you as my brother. Why didn't I notice it sooner? This equation is so vast I could just break it down. Yet it's so exasperatingly simple. What do people call this feeling?
First, I wish that I'd never given birth to Rune. I wish that I never left my hometown, moved to Kadia, and worked at Zevitz. I wish that I never met you. That I should have just stayed and took over the family business. I wish that I never have anything to do with the name Zevitz. A life like that would have been much better. But you know, it's impossible. I'm so glad I have you, and Rudo, and Rune. I love you all so madly from the bottom of my heart. Though just thinking about it is depressing. Life without that girl. Couldn't possibly imagine that. Even if I wouldn't end up like this.
Eline.
We had our ups and downs. But I'm so glad I met you. I'm so glad I gave birth to Rudo. And even though the world may never forgive us for it, so glad I gave birth to Rune. I'm so glad I have lived.
Eline.
I love you, Sid. It's a fun life.
Eline.
Everything's in your hands now.
I have a favor to ask of you too. Would you take my little sister, Rune, along with your travels? She always wanted to travel the world. As you can see, she isn't human, so she isn't subject to mana shock. We can go whenever and wherever. I'm sure she'll be of use to you.
Whether or not she's one of us, I can't read. Whether or not she's of use is of no consequence. So course, we'd be happy to have her come with us. Victory pose!
Rune?
Selphine!
Oh yeah, going now.
She truly is a fascinating girl. It's hard for me to express the sentiment, but if I had to put it into words, just looking at her gives me peace of mind. With my position, I've had to handle a great deal of responsibility at a young age. I'm confident as a good judge of character. Selphine has no hidden agenda, no ulterior motives. As if she understands her sense of justice so well that she doesn't need to contemplate before acting on it. And a strong sense of curiosity gives off a strange but attractive radiance about her. Decades ago, the man who found Savette's enterprise possessed that same radiance. Something which I do not have. Ritona.
What is it? Being called by a name all of a sudden feels rather off-putting.
Take this with you.
What is this?
It's a device that uses technology to recreate that so-called comcraft that you use. It's currently undergoing development. Using a certain wavelength in the mana stream called radio waves as a medium can be used to send messages and information.
Is that even possible? Just how far do the capabilities of science extend? But as you've seen, the distance to our homeland is considerable. The burden of using mana to maintain a long-distance stream will have to fall onto one of the two parties. Otherwise it will be cut. Rune is certainly out of the question, and you can't use your own internal mana as well. So how will that be maintained?
We will use sediment. As long as we continue to provide constant supply to maintain the line, then I suppose there should be no trouble.
Well, I suppose. Constantly using purified mana every single day when it's more valuable than even precious metals? Just how much of a financial strain would that be, I wonder? At the very least, it's certainly not something that any one individual could possibly afford. Oh. I see how it is now. Even though you are the leader of the company, wouldn't that be a problem with that board of directors if you were to use up that much money?
Would that be a problem? This is merely a field test of a new product prototype.
He answers nonchalantly as he puts a smug smile on his face.
If we can improve the effectiveness of this technology, then we can bypass the usage of boats and the postal system altogether. We will be able to get in contact with the other regions of the Outer Pole. The failed plans my father and Albus had for market expansion will no longer be a dream once again. Furthermore, seeing as the company's unwanted baggage, which has caused us many a headache, will find this be disposed of. I expect there will be no issues whatsoever.
Eloquently put. Seeing Rune articulate with such life, such animation, I think to myself, since the dive, he seemed to me to be the type that never lets his guard down. Despite his age, there is no better word to describe this man than cunning.
Besides, we'd rather not. We'd rather not lose contact with my little sister.
For just a moment. I see. You do have a point there. It seemed to me that Rudo's cold, sharp eyes had relaxed.
Just a moment, if you please, Selphine.
What is it?
I just remembered something. Please wait here for just a moment. I have something I need to tell Albus.
Sure.
Excuse me, Albus.
What is it?
David, go for it.
ZV Dick. I do have the bottle of the stuff, yeah. It's been 2 years since someone's had me bring it in, so I was thinking of just tossing the damn thing out. Didn't expect it to be yours, Mr. Folster. Here you go.
There's a note.
Go ahead, Albus.
So, Albus, if you're reading this note, that means everything went perfectly. I'm sure you've got all sorts of questions, but there's something I've got to do right now. Albus, I'm sorry. Sorry for not telling you anything. But it was something I had to do. I made a promise to Eline that I'd never let Rudo be alone. I'm sure you've already had an inkling, but I didn't have much longer to live. But I had a duty to leave Rudo with family. What should I have done? Mana research was something I'd been doing long before I had a family. I dedicated my entire life to it. How ironic. I get killed by the research I loved, while I threw aside what I should have protected most. Then one day, I remembered. It was something written down in a book I'd read long ago. A method used by royalty in the inner pole to pass their experiences and memories down to their descendants. It's a ceremony called the Path Down. The Path Down is a special kind of mana craft only royalty are able to use. But then I thought to myself, as long as it uses mana, then there's got to be a way to recreate it using our science. Through my research, I've discovered 2 unknown properties of mana. 1, the purified mana of a human will remain inside of a person long after their death. 2, in general, this mana can be subdivided into 3 types: memories, experiences, the 2 of which form emotions, all of which are saved in the mana. I've decided to call this memory mana. When Manacraft was still in its infancy, people back then would mummify their royalty and stuff, right? That kind of practice might have been so they could keep that person's mana inside the body for as long as they possibly could. Well, whatever. Anyway, I succeeded in extracting the memory mana from Rune's body and transfer it into the body of a sister. I also managed to create a sister that could inherit Rune's mannerisms perfectly. But then, there was a problem with that plan. If she didn't have any emotions, then she'd turn out exactly like Rune had. There'd be no point in that. So, I figured out a way to extract the emotions from my own memory mana. I decided to give the mannerisms that formed the emotions inside me all to her. But then there was a problem with that too. See, we're people from the outer pole. This is craft that only royalty from the inner pole can use. I knew that if I tried to pull something like this off, my body couldn't handle it. If you extract a huge amount of mana from your body, you die from some kind of reverse mana shock, and that'd be that. But you see, I really didn't have much longer left in me anyway. So I decided Lab 9's protocol would be the trigger to my own version of the path down. Memory mana. Maybe this is what people refer to as the soul. A machine that inherits Rune's memories and carries emotions. Just who would that be? No, to be more precise, what would that be? People will fear it. I'll probably be called a blasphemous heretic for toying around with the deceased. But you know what? Mana hides too many possibilities to imagine. It's filled with too many outcomes to understand. As we humans continue our research into mana, I'm sure we'll encounter these problems. Beings that inherit memory mana. What exactly are they? Mana will likely only bring more of these ethical issues to light. I said it as such, that her emotion imitation mechanism can't be cut off, even by her own self. And I've deleted all the logs so that it can't be copied. Sorry, that's just my ego at work. I thought to myself, maybe it's too soon for this world to accept a being like her. But the fact that you're reading this memo means that wasn't entirely the case. I mean, at least there's one person in this world who's willing to accept her as family. Well, that's that. Stay well, Albus. P.S. From the moment I met you, you've always been family to me, until the very end. No matter what happens, nothing's ever gonna change that fact. That's how it's been, and that's how it's gonna be. But I suppose that isn't enough for how you feel. Sorry I couldn't return your feelings. You're just too damn obvious.
Are we all ready to go?
Yep.
There's a port just a little north of here. You can take a ship that'll ferry you to the mainland.
Selphine, Ritona, look! I even got some money from Rune!
Are you sure about this?
With the money you have left, you wouldn't have enough to pay for 3 people's fares. Additionally, you'll be headed to a different country than here in Cordon. They of course use a different currency than we do in Cadia. Include their own mint as well.
My goodness. You've got us perfectly covered. Thank you for your kind consideration. We'll put it all to good use.
Well then, I hope we can meet again someday.
Hey everyone, let's get going! Thank you for everything, Rudo.
Thank you, brother.
Alright! We're off to our next destination! Let's go, go, go!
Yay!
Oh, wait, stop! You two. Jeez. Rudo, just a word of caution. We don't know when Rune will ever return here.
I don't mind. She's free now. I'll let her do whatever she desires. If she does come back, then I'll look after her again.
He really is quite the kind, compassionate fellow. It feels like we've been on quite the adventure, even though we've been here for less than 4 days.
Ritona! Hurry up! Let's go!
We're gonna leave you behind, Ritona.
This isn't bad at all. It's so refreshing. I might even forget all about mana shock. Don't wander off too far now, you two.
You're too slow, Ritona! Come on! Hurry! Hurry!
Fine.
So now that all three of us are together again, there's something I'd like to say to the both of you. Vilsario, Selphine, Ritona.
El cereal, Rune!
Vilsario.
I'm just so excited right now. I don't even know what to do. Being able to have adventures around the world with the two of you, it's like a dream come true.
Have you ever gone outside of Cadia?
I've only really been to the mines, really. That's why I'm just so super excited.
Energetic as always.
Can you blame her? Let her have her fun. Heck, you're not excited enough, Ritona.
That's right, Ritona. We're on a journey here. You're losing out if you don't enjoy it. Right?
Hey, Rune! Rune! I'd love it if you could call me Sally from now on.
Sally? Are you sure? It's so informal.
Oh, of course I'm sure. We're friends, aren't we?
Sally!
Rune!
Rune Rune!
Rune! Rune!
Rune Rune!
Are they seriously going to keep this level of enthusiasm the entire trip?
Alright! We've done everything we need to. Time to leave the outer pole. We gotta start prioritizing Ritona's condition right now.
I'm perfectly fine. More importantly, Selphine, we have something we need to tell Rune, don't we?
Oh, something you need to tell me? What could it be?
Seeing as you'll be traveling with us... No, seeing as you'll be our comrade during our long journey back, we should inform you of our true identities.
Oh, right. I completely forgot about that.
Your true identities?
Yes, just calm down and listen, okay? The truth is, Ritona and I are...
What was that sound?
What sound? Oh, tell me!
This is from the wave of a mana shift. And the concentration is intense. Just how much mana was used up here? This way. Follow me, but stay behind me at all times.
You must be the Rosenheid's princess, yes?
What? Princess?
Good day to you. My name is Melano. Nice to meet... Oh, well, I'll be. Wait now. Could you be a bodyguard? Wow, I didn't think you were this young. Geez, really, I'm just blown away. And you're a girl to boot. Wow, what an amazing turn of events.
What are you even talking about?
I'm sorry. Maybe you have the wrong person here.
Oh my. Playing dumb, are we? And who's that girl with the twin tails?
She's... Damn it, Rune. Please don't say a word.
You have the wrong people, miss. I've known these two my entire life, and I can tell you that none of us is a princess or a servant.
Well, well, is that so? I haven't seen a girl as terrible at lying as you are in a while.
I am not lying at all.
With the way you're stammering like that, I just wish I could believe you. Oh, but I guess that's not entirely a lie. You at least know to script your response without being told, which means you're definitely friends. Hmm?
Melano approaches Rune and gently caresses Rune's cheek.
What are you doing?
You're certainly an interesting person, aren't you?
Eh?
I see. This weak level of mana. This is the outer pole, isn't it? And you're not human, are you?
That's enough. This is the first time we've met, and already you think you can get so chummy with us. She's clearly repulsed by our actions.
Oh my, I do apologize. I certainly didn't mean to.
Sorry, but you have the wrong people. We're in a hurry, so if you'll excuse us. Come on, both of you.
Yeah.
Coming.
What? Looks like the two of you outright hate me now. What a shame. I really wanted to chat a little more. Guess I have no choice.
It's been so long that I've already forgotten that on this world existed beings whose hostility could physically feel through your skin.
Selphine Rosenhide.
That feeling pierced through my skin like a needle.
Your father. Valhalla Rosenhide.
It was as if a single swift moment changed into an eternity. I prepared myself unconsciously as I felt her pure killing intent.
Is dead by my hands.
Who are you? Name yourself!
Eh?
You even followed us all the way here. Introduce yourself! What do you want from us?
I'm so happy! Now you feel like talking.
Answer me. How do you manage to follow us all the way here?
See, there's this girl who's really, really good at analyzing cravats. So I followed what she said, and what do you know? I managed to teleport just like you.
That's impossible. You just managed to do that. There's no way a lone human could stabilize the mana lines to travel all the way here in a mere 3 days.
But I'm here, right in front of you. I followed you all the way from the third pole. And I found a far more stable method than the stray effect that you seem to be using.
Preposterous. Say what you will.
Oh, no need to be so nasty. Forcing mana lines to stabilize for the stray effect isn't something any normal person could have come up with. You're a real genius. Just that you've made enemies with the wrong person.
Speaking down to me like that. Are you saying I'm inferior to you?
This isn't about who's superior or inferior. That between you and I exists the border between possible and impossible.
Who the hell do you think you are? The border of impossibility? Enough of your foolishness. Do you mean to call yourself a god?
Who knows? I suppose that depends on your definition of what a god is. If you think all it takes to be a god is to be omnipotent, then I very well could be a god to you.
What?
Basta. You're making such a racket. Calm down. Now listen. I'll only say this once. You're not killer yet.
This aura. Could it be?
Sally?
Goodness, you do not hear me, Rhinefasta. This is an order. Do not let her escape. Constrain her by all means, even if you must cut her arms and legs off. I've got quite a few questions, you see.
The worst timing possible. That's it!
Huh?
Hooray! An open ending!
What? No way.
Oh, CJ get trolled.
Huh?
Excellent job, everyone. And then they all died. The end.
I'm done trusting super cute girl characters. I have had enough of psycho chicks.
Hey, it makes it more
Same,
fun.
You
Same.
ones that turn absolutely insane.
Wow. Like first Rune, and now it's Selphine. It's like, oh, come on.
Okay, when we play in the next one.
I play with
Is there a next
fun
one?
and games until you learn
Yeah,
that
I think
Milano
there's
was
There is a
actually
sequel.
Ludo and
Yeah,
drag.
that's why the
Oh, there
ending's open.
are? Damn.
Mhm.
Sequel. I think there's a prequel.
She's definitely.
I say, I'm gonna be completely for real. I haven't heard of this series until I was part of this project.
Yeah, me either.
Either.
Me either.
I really enjoyed it though.
I still don't know half the series that we play.
Oh, Sully is clearly not a hamster.
I think my favorite part was the gay angst. I did not think that Elvis was
Yes.
gay.
Yes.
Now that
Oh my
he
God.
is, he's mine now.
Yeah.
I
My
love
favorite
that.
part.
Mine. I'm putting him in
Get friend
bucket.
zoned.
I'm taking care of him forever.
What can I say? I'm a tease.
I think
What the fuck?
I think a bit of Tanaka carried over. Hey, Frank.
Hey.
Remember that scene in the bathroom? Like,
Oh yeah, in
what
the bathroom.
fuck
I
was
think
all that?
yeah. Every time we play Shibuya, I
What?
remember you in the bathroom, Duck.
Hey yo.
Oh wow.
Do we need to step out for
Damn.
a second? Like,
Right? Do we need to give you all some space?
You guys need the room?
Because, well,
Yeah, like, do we
No,
need
it's
to
okay.
leave so you guys can have alone time to.
Oh, the homophobia is strong in this chat.
I know.
My
right?
goodness.
It's okay. You all can watch.